Hello everyone and welcome back to Trekyards. I'm Captain Foley.
And I am Commander Kongs. And Stuart, do you want to know one thing I really like about Star Trek?
Sure, yeah, tell me.
The Galaxy class bridge design. Just a random piece of information I'm just going to throw out to you. It's like a random day of the week. I'm just going to say it to you in case it's of any interest. I don't know. I mean, I just really like it. Yeah.
Well, ironically enough, the last episode of Lower Decks had a Galaxy class bridge. Wow, what are the odds?
Where was I during that scene?
Were you sleeping? I don't know, man. We reviewed it. I mean, I know you kind of tune out when you're talking to me, but man, I didn't think you'd forget that.
Well, hey, Stuart.
We're here to talk about the Galaxy class bridge we saw on Lower Decks, episode 6? Yeah, The Spy Humongous. Boimler's epic heroic speech, and the bridge forms around him. This was great to see in the trailers. We were assuming it's a holodeck thing, or maybe even the other Boimler doing his thing. Although he did have instant pips, which was important that we pointed that out as well. But yeah, we got it here. It was just his imagination, essentially, of the bridge forming around him. And that's the ship he envisioned. Out of all the ships he could have envisioned, he wanted the Galaxy class. So
yeah, it was definitely a lovely moment. It was one of those ones where sometimes the Lower Decks referencey using the canon scenes are underdeveloped, where it's gone. This one was that interesting mix of it made so much sense and it would have dragged to have more, but obviously it would have been nice if they'd actually had it be a true holodeck, so they could have walked around and done a slightly longer scene, but at least it had the referential and reverential sense and a couple of shots, and then that great hard cut from his fictitious to the reality. So it was a great little moment, and I think for any Star Trek fan, you'll be thinking, well, that's just right. Just right. What was your gut reaction when it popped in?
Well, I mean, it's exciting to see it, obviously, because it's one of the most iconic bridges and the one we spent probably the most amount of time on. To see it brought to life in animated form and be so accurate, like even there's a pan around him at one point and you see like the schematics of the Enterprise on the side near the ready room door, so you got to see like everything, like they did a good pan through, which was great. I mean, I was super excited to see it, and again, we knew this was coming because of the this season on trailer, but wasn't sure the context, and I wish it was a little bit more. That being said, we still got it, and they were always they paid so much attention to details. They really make sure that everything looks like it's supposed to, and that's one of the things I love about Lower Decks, is they treat everything exactly as it should be treated, with dignity and respect.
With two caveats in this, two things that were noticed online that were incorrect. One of which you can see in these pictures, we'll get into in a minute, but that sort of side display panel looking at the ship that you talked about a minute ago, they actually got one of the shots the wrong way around. They showed the bottom of the ship instead of meant to the top of the ship in one of those like orthographic MSD style views, so they got it wrong with what sort of view, which is an easy mistake, but also it's an easy thing to just check. They made a genuine mistake on one, but hey ho. But the first shot though is a direct side-by-side. Luckily, we got this bigger view as well, which I think was definitely needed in the shot. And, I mean, it does certainly feel like coming home. With, obviously, the caveat of everything is is that just a bit more structured and boxy a la Lower Decks? I think they put quite a lot of effort in here to make it as curved as possible. That control column, the wharf station, obviously it's replicated into the Titan and it's very bulky, and you're wondering, well, is that the artistic interpretation of what the D-ish would be? But when you see the actual D version, you're like, oh no, things can be that curved. And so when they're not, it's like, well, where's that line? Some things are just too boxy, but that's their style. But that one's beautifully smooth, but so iconic.
Yeah, the Lower Decks chairs do not look as comfortable. We've made that statement since the beginning. I mean, you'll see the extra padding under not Goldicott and Riker. There are a few actually differences here, which is interesting. A much thicker wood thing on the top of the horseshoe, and then the horseshoe also scoops around a little further in the real life one. And one of the biggest things I noticed that I didn't even think of until seeing the side-by-side comparison, which these are great for that, guys. Thank you to Trekyards for that. I mean, Samuel, he does all the side-by-sides. So, well, looking at the picture, the right side of the turbo lift, there's an extra column there, or a panel that isn't there on the real one. So what this is a version of the bridge between All Good Things and Generations. They put that in, and then they refitted it even more to put in more of the side panels or the side stations. So there you go. An in-between step.
That's the thing. It is a it's like the Enterprise D at the start of Picard. It can look super wrong because it's a figment of his imagination within a show, within a night. Yeah. Get a jail free card. So, but it's odd to add an extra one that isn't there, and having, I've since worked on this Enterprise D bridge in a 3D model form, so I've had to look at it in a way that I'd never had previously. And ironically, the first thing, apart from the chairs that look far less nice with the weird lines of padding on the sides, where there should be like actual padding, it's just weird. That's low deck stuff. And this might seem so small, but it's something that I noticed straight away, is that the turbolift alcove, the one we've seen in both images, it's got a little bit less space on the left hand side. There's a little dip on either side, which you can see represented. And also in their version, the sort of purpley grey padding is the entire wall, whereas actually there's it stops at the same point as the chairs do, roughly, just a little bit higher, because it's padding on top of a wooden wall. But for lower decks, it's all one thing. And same with the chairs. The chairs don't have anywhere to as in the chairs at the back, the things that are under the panels. There is a separate line underneath it, which is the thing the chairs actually stand on, which you can pull out. And they've just kind of all homogenized it into one big detail, which is incorrect. And as someone who's like, oh wait, there's 2 lines of detail here? God damn, what's this? Something you notice, but I can't unnotice it. Small thing, but it does change the feel slightly, because it all makes it one big colour, whereas the other one's a bit more depthy.
Well, no one's going to notice that, Samuel. Unless they do a side-by-side comparison and know Trek really well.
That does make a difference, yes. And even the horseshoe carpet is different. It's more, it comes at the ends of this big curve, kind of like an oval, like whereas the other one, it's nice and smooth, and it comes in, and it's... But the second view, though, is a look up. And it was obviously the first shot we saw. You've got some darn officers in the way, but apart from that... I mean, this one was sort of the first one we see, and this is pretty damn impeccable, A
little bit different curvature on the horseshoe, but I mean, it is, an animated version, so...
yeah, that is very noticeable. And also the different focal length. I mean,
yeah,
we're
exactly.
further away with the fact we can see the front console. That all does make a difference.
And even those small little details, the thing can be said, this maybe isn't the Enterprise bridge. This is another Galaxy-class bridge. We did see the Odyssey in Deep Space Nine, which had
Did we see it? They hid it as much as possible.
Yeah, and it didn't look at all like a Galaxy-class bridge. So, I mean, there is the thing that you could say that, yes, maybe there's slight little differences to each one depending on when they rolled out, or if they got damaged in a battle and got repaired with like newer equipment. That's why there's that extra panel on the side, maybe things like that. It's not necessarily the Enterprise bridge. Although, if you're picturing an epic speech, and he did mention Riker, like how would Riker do that speech? You would kind of invoke the flagship or the Enterprise, but considering if you never served on it on the bridge, you've only got like your imagination as to what what a Galaxy class bridge looks like. So we're looking a lot deeper into this than we need to, but we really love that this bridge was represented. So,
and it's one of those things where at any point these things could come to fruition and truly be seen, and we're waiting for any of these things to come about. And this season is certainly the season of expanded universality. This is a thing that exists in their universe. They're showing it, and it isn't rocket science to get this looking right. And so it being 3% off, and then the extra 5% of lower decks curves is totally acceptable because it does look so good and the colours are so good. And the last picture again shows that great bridge total feel that you get at the end, which was great to see. Just everyone kind of just needs to have more often, needs to be more holodeck simulations where they go and do other things. It's but I mean, 7 seasons of lower decks, I'm calling it, and then I'll have the stuff eventually,
So anyway, guys, I think that's it for our look at the lower decks representation of the Galaxy-class bridge. A fine example of things done properly.
Well, I did just notice that the captain's chair is missing the slit in the middle. For some reason, they've made it a whole chair. Because, I mean, yes, he's in front of it every time, but you would see it between his legs. So that for some reason they haven't crossed the I's and dotted the T's. It's the wrong chair. simple detail to get right, simple detail to get wrong. Just saying.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, there you go, guys. If there's anything you noticed that we didn't, or something we noticed that you didn't and you were excited about, let us know in the comments section down below. We love reading your comments and hearing your thoughts. And he's scrutinizing the picture even more as I'm talking, so I'm worried that I'm going to get interrupted, but that's okay. So comment down below, guys. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Don't forget to click the notification bell icon to all so you get notified whenever we upload new content or do lives. And we love doing lives to hang out with you guys and talk to you in real time.
I mean, these sorts of images where we can take them and break them down for 10 minutes are great, but when we've got a live audience and we are like, you know, someone could point out one small thing, we zoom in and say, oh, and that can spawn a 20-minute discussion that opens our eyes entirely. That's what the lives do. And so please do join those if you want that really detailed breakdown. We're the only guys that really do that, so jump in on those. And Super Chat if you want, because this channel does take money to run, does take time to run, and therefore Super Chats allow us to keep going. You know, if you put in $5 every live, it's not a lot, but it mounts up, and it means a lot to us, as long as you can, of course. Free is just tune in, say hi, and comment. But if you want to support as well monthly, Patreon is a great way, or join the channel on YouTube, again, monthly, or PayPal. Basically, there's links down below in the description. A lot of great ways to help. If you can do any of them, thank you. If you can do many of them, thank you many.
That's right. So until next time, guys, I am Captain Foley.
And I'm Captain. And see, I was looking at Boimler. He's like, yes! But no, I'm Commander Coggins. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.